Hey everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. And it's Sunday, and so I've jumped on to show you a project, and I'm going to make the tunnel fold card. And I've just realized my internet looks like it's a little bit unstable, so I'm just going to go and turn off something that's running on my computer so that hopefully it won't be unstable and the picture will be great. So I will be right back. Just gonna there. Hopefully, I'm back. Hopefully that will fix the internet issue that I was seeing. Hello, I don't see who that is. Don't forget to give StreamYard permission if you're coming in through Facebook. I'm only seeing hello, and so hello back. I'm not sure who that is, but welcome. All right. Oh gosh, it's still showing my internet is a bit unstable here. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on today. It's a weird day. It's April 10th on the West Coast in Canada, and we had some snow mixed with rain this morning. So it's been chilly, definitely chilly, and not well, April's always unpredictable no matter where we are. So anyway, so today I thought I would show you how to make a tunnel fold card. So if you joined me on my Zoom class on Monday night, we made one of these cards, but I thought I would show it using a different bundle. I used the Symbols of Fortune suite when I made it on Monday night, but today I'm going to use the Artfully Composed. So let me switch over to my desktop and we will get started. All right, so this is the Artfully Composed suite. So the Artfully Layered Stamp Set with these great sentiments, and then the stamped leaves, different leaves, and then the Tropical Layers dies. So you can cut out the stamped dies or the stamped images as well as these great leaves, and I've already gone ahead and cut some out. There's a really nice border, and then these little dies are used to create just some texture. So this is hash marks, and then this creates little kind of open boxes. Just great texture for background images or labels, things like that. So nice dies. Nice suite if you actually don't have this suite. All right, so let me bring in my supplies. So I'm using, this is one of my, I think I got a full piece or a bigger piece of it. I'm using this piece of the Artfully Composed. So it's got the great colors in it, Old Olive, Just Jade, Calypso Coral. This one's got black. On the back side is this diagonal stripes, but I'm using this side. And I'm pairing it with just a pop of basic black and Calypso Coral. Just really love this color combination. So that will be my front, and we'll decorate it. So we'll start with what we need for the base of your card. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5. And if I just bring this in, that's my scoring blade. Okay, so 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score this at 4 1/4, like we would do a normal imperial size card. So 5.5 by 8.5. Now, you're also going to need a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is cut 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. So 1/4 of an inch smaller all around than the card base. And we're going to score this one at 4 1/8. All right, so that's the card base. And then we've got a piece, I'm just going to trim this. I just have this again. This is a piece of Calypso Coral. It's cut 5 1/4. Actually, I'm going to use my scissors. I've got a little rough edge here. 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. So this is the same size as the basic white cardstock. Okay, there we go. Now this piece is going to get scored more. So I will put the measurements for this underneath the video when it goes live, whether it's in Facebook or YouTube. But This is scored at 2 1/16. So on the trimmer, and you're going to not be able to see this, but on the trimmer, it's divided into 16ths. So each little notch, a little line, regardless of how long the line is a 16th of an inch. So we want to score this at 2 1/16, 4 1/8. So that's two little lines, and 6 3/16. So this is 3 lines past the 6. So in half is 4 1/8, and then it's so 2 1/16 and then so it's 2 1/16 from each edge. So again, that was 2 1/16, 4 1/8, and 6 3/16. And I will put these measurements underneath this video. All right, now, and I just realized I forgot my layering circle die. Okay, so we're going to do some stamping first before we actually do some scoring. So what this is going to be, and I don't have one to show you, is we're going to have, in this piece, we're going to cut a circle. Now this is the largest of the layering circle dies. You don't have to have it this big, but I'm going to use the largest. And what we want to do is cut a circle right on the score line. So this is my score line, and so I'm roughly lining up my circle so the middle of my circle is in the middle, sorry, the middle of my circle is on this score line. And I'm just going to use a little bit of Post-it note tape, and I'm going to run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm just going to bring this in. So again, my scored line, this is the middle of my piece of cardstock, is lined up with the middle of my circle. And this is going to be what's going to look like the tunnel. Oh gosh, and I'm still seeing my internet being really slow. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on today. Hopefully it's not too distracting. All right, so now I've got my circle. So you can save this circle and use it on the front of your card if you want. Take that piece of Post-it note tape off. Okay, so now we've got this. So this is actually going to line up and adhere onto our basic white. And what we're going to do is stamp some images in this circle, because that's what's going to show on our card. Oh, we don't see any delays. Okay, perfect. I am seeing a bit of delay, Nancy, but hopefully you guys aren't. All right, I'm going to grab my stamp set. And I'm just going to put one, I think I'm just going to put one stamp in the middle, one image in the middle, like that. And I'm roughly going to line this up. So you've got your two pieces, just line them up on one on another, and you can take a pencil and just kind of mark the center of this, just so you have an idea of where you want your stamped image to be. Now, I'm going to stamp this in Old Olive, just because I've got a lot of Calypso Coral going on. So we'll just ink this up. This is just going to be the outline, and I'm just going to stamp it so that it is in the center of my what will be the center of my circle. So you can see that that stamped image is now in the center. If you wanted to, you could do this before you've scored. I don't actually mind it's going to be folded anyway, so it doesn't bother me that there's a score line. So I'm going to take some Terran tape, and all you want to do is put some Terran tape, or you could use Stampin' Seal, something that's fairly strong, and I'm just going to put it down each edge of my Calypso Coral piece, because that's the piece that's going to adhere. And somewhere I've got my Take Your Pick tool. this off, the backing off. I'm going to do these one at a time. So we're just going to take and line these two up. So I want these edges to be lined up like that and like that. Okay, and then you can take the other edge off, or the other piece of backing off. Hopefully, there we go. Yeah. And the same with this. Okay, so we've got our piece. Now, this is actually what you want to do is this piece that is free floating. So in this case, my Calypso Coral, we're going to take and pinch the middle fold, the middle score line. It's going to be a mountain fold. So it's going to come out at you. And then these two, the other ones, are going to be the valley. So I find it easier not to do this, to do this after you've got it put together. And the reason I find it easier is that makes it easier to adhere your pieces lined up. So again, once you've got it adhered, just pull this middle piece toward you and pinch these two folds on the circle towards you to make a mountain fold. And then these other two folds will be valley folds. And then it just folds all together like that. Okay. Now we can take and adhere this, because this piece is now, let's fold our card base. So again, fold so that the mountain line, the score, the raised score line is on the inside. So you're going to fold into the mountain and get your card base. Now I'm going to just trim this. I seem to have a bit of a rough edge going on here. I'm not sure. Just going to trim that. There we go. Okay. So this piece is now going to fit in here, and it's just a slightly smaller than the middle, but you can take and adhere this whole piece down. So I'm going to use, gosh, I am seeing delay. I don't know what's going on here. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you. Maybe it's just me. Hey, welcome. All right, so we are now going to take, and we're just going to adhere this down like this. So it's roughly lined up with the center. We want to make sure our score lines are aligned. And you can take and just fold it and press down so that the liquid glue, if you're using Stamp and Seal, it definitely adheres much faster, but the liquid glue will make it kind of slide around a little bit. Okay, now, gosh, my internet, I'm so sorry. I don't know. All right, so that's the inside of the card mostly done. Now I've cut two pieces of designer series paper, and I have cut these 1 7/8 by 5 1/8, and we're just going to adhere these on the inside of them on the two side panels. So they will go like that and that. Right, here's that, like that and that. Now, my designer series paper has writing on it, so make sure you get your writing going the right way. All right, so there I've got my tunnel fold on the inside of my card, and now it's about decorating the front. If you want this to fold flat and stay closed, you may want to consider putting some ribbon around it, because it isn't going to fold. You can see it, mine wants to pop open. It's quite thick in the center, and because of the many layers. So you could use some, this is the frayed ribbon. This is the that comes with the suite. So I'm just going to take, and I'm going to leave enough so that I can tie a bow. It's not the greatest ribbon for tying a bow, but if I have enough, I should be able to tie a bow. So I'm just going to take and wrap around some ribbon. And I'm going to do this underneath the designer series paper so that it doesn't show. and just put some Stampin' Seal to hold it in place on the front and on the back. Oops. There we go. So that's the front. Yep, that's the front. And now we can decorate the front. So I've got a piece of, this piece of designer series paper is 4 inches by 5. Actually, maybe we could cut it shorter. Yeah, this piece of basic black is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And this piece of designer series paper is 3 3/4 by 5. So just 1/4 of an inch smaller, so that you can actually get some of this kind of this pop of black behind it, just to show off all these great colors. Here we go. And now I am going to use Stampin' Seal. You could use tear and tape, but because I've got some thick-ish ribbon on the front, I like to use either tear and tape or Stampin' Seal. It just holds it in place better than if I tried to use liquid glue over top of that. Isn't that pretty paper? Again, I didn't look closely, but I managed to get the writing going the right way. All right, so now decorate. So I've cut a piece. I'm going to debate about this. This is my, actually I might use both of these. This is my Calypso Coral that I cut out of the center. And I cut a piece of the art layering vellum. There's another name for it, but I think I'm going to use both. So this is the piece I cut out of the center, and then I've cut using the same size of layering circle. So I'm just going to adhere that just with a little bit of Stampin' Seal. It'll show off the vellum more by putting it on the Calypso Coral. And then I'm just going to take and use some Stampin' Seal to adhere this onto my card. So we're just going to put that there. And then I've gone ahead and cut out, using the dies, cut out these great leaves. So I've got, this one is in Old Olive. So you can decorate this however you want. So this is in Old Olive. They're all caught together. This one is in Basic Black. This one's kind of like a palm frond. There we go. Oops. And then this one, I don't know. This is my favorite leaf, the one I've got cut out of Calypso Coral. So we're just going to take and adhere these. I'm going to just going to use glue dots to adhere this. I'm trying to get rid of these little bits that seem to be wanting to stick. All right, so let's just use glue dots to adhere these on. And they're going to be somewhat free floating, so I'm not going to really worry that they're kind of not completely adhered down. If you want to, you could use the adhesive sheets, and then they would adhere completely flat and you wouldn't worry, but I'm just going to kind of let them. I have a glue dot stuck to my nail. There we go. Oh, no. There we go. All right, and then one more. Okay, I'm going to stamp the sentiment before I put that on. Hello, Lynette. Yeah, watch the replay, and then I'll put the measurements underneath here. So this is Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp using the thank you stamp, and I'm going to stamp it in Old Olive. Oops, like that. Just love these. The sentiments on this one is really pretty with the combination of the cursive writing and then the block. All right, so I'm going to just take and fussy cut mine. And I don't worry about if it's not perfectly straight. You could, if you worry about that, then cut a piece that matches the size of your sentiment, and then you don't have to worry about it not being perfectly straight. I actually don't mind that. In fact, sometimes I try to make it look so that it's not perfectly straight. All right, so I'm gonna adhere this with dimensionals, but let's put this one. Okay, I'm gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna take a glue dot and tuck this underneath there like that. Isn't that pretty? All right, so the last thing I want to do is these are the faux sea glass shapes. And I'm just going to use these to add a little bit of extra color. They're quite small, so let's just, we'll put some kind of all over the place. Probably I'll use more than I usually use, because usually I put three little embellishments on. But this case I'm going to use 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more. They're very small. So let's use another one of that. No, that's not. Let's use another one of these ones. There we go. So they are hard to see. I'm not sure. You can kind of just see them. I've got some all around. I kind of wish they were just a little bit bigger, but I love the colors. They're in old kind of Pear Pizzazz Pool Party, and then kind of white or very vanilla. Now let's see if I can tie at least a knot with this. Like I said, this isn't the best ribbon for tying a bow, so you could actually just tie a single knot. We'll see how this looks when I get, oh, it's going to be really thick. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it as a knot, but I will trim it. They won't need quite as much ribbon to tie a knot to keep it closed than they would a ribbon. There we go. All right. So there is the tunnel fold card. I just love this paper, this designer series paper in this suite. So hopefully you do too. And hopefully you'll try out this tunnel fold. And just, you can use any size of circle. I could have done some stamping on the inside if I wanted to, but I kind of like the designer series paper on the inside just to brighten it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now I will put the measurements underneath this video, so you will have them if you're watching on the replay. If you have any questions as you're going through and watching it, just leave a comment and I'm happy to answer them. I will be doing this as a blog post probably next week, and so all of the instructions and measurements will be there as well. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. I will be live on Tuesday night with my sketch challenge. And then Thursday night is the mystery challenge. So Thursday at about 9 in the morning, I will post your clues, what you need to gather, and come make a card with me on Thursday at 6:30 Pacific. Don't forget that there's still time to sign up for our Symbols of Fortune stamp camp. What you need to do is go into my online store and order the full product suite for the Symbols of Fortune stamp camp, and you will be automatically registered for the stamp camp, and you will get access to the exclusive Facebook group, as well as receive a make and take kit with 13 projects in it. So enough supplies to make 13 projects. Plus you will get the YouTube video and PDF instructions for those make and take, and you will get 13 bonus projects in our stamp camp live during, it is the 29th and 30th of April. It's the last Friday and Saturday of April. I think that's the 29th and 30th. So we will be live in the Facebook group from demonstrators around the world. So over that course of the 24 hours, we will be live with all sorts of bonus projects. All right, everybody, thanks very much for joining me. Hopefully the internet wasn't too bad and it wasn't too much of a delay. And I will see you on Tuesday night. Happy stamping. Bye.